Revealed after 32 years, the most spectacular UFO photo ever captured? Or is it the first glimpse of America's fabled top-secret Aurora spy plane program? In August 1990, two young chefs photographed what they thought was a UFO while walking near the Carigorms in Scotland and took the pictures to a newspaper. The paper passed them on to the Ministry of Defence. The photographs vanished, along with the two young chefs. Now, after 32 years, the photographs are revealed, despite the MOD and the National Archives doing their utmost to keep it hidden until 2076 because of privacy concerns. Retired RAF officer Craig Lindsay, who is now 83, broke protocol and kept one of the pictures inside a copy of Great Aircraft of the World in his desk. But is the picture in fact the glimpse of America's fabled top-secret Aurora spy plane program? Since the mid-1980s, there have been rumours of a silent supersonic, geometrically shaped craft used for spy missions. There have never been substantial evidence that it was ever built or flown, but there have been numerous unexplained sightings and incidents in both the US and the UK that fueled the myth. On October 4th, 1990, two young men were working as chefs in a hotel in Pitlochry, just outside the Carigorms National Park in Scotland. At 9 PM, after a long day in the hot kitchen, they drove about 13 miles along the A9 to Calvine, at the edge of the Carigorms, for a walk in the hills. They hadn't gone far when they saw a huge solid diamond-shaped object, about 100 foot long, hovering silently in the sky above them. Terrified, they hid in some bushes and looked up. Minutes later, they heard the scream of a jet aircraft going north. In 1990, RAF had two squadrons of Tornado fighters on 24-hour standby to intercept Russian intruder aircraft. The jet came back and circled the thing before heading off on its original course, as if the pilot had seen the object too and had come back for a closer look. Eventually, the two men stuck their camera out from where they were hiding and fired off 6 frames. At that point, the object shot vertically upwards and disappeared way, way up in the sky. Convinced they had just seen a UFO, they took their photos to the Daily Record, one of Scotland's leading newspapers, but no story was ever printed. The paper passed the pictures to the Ministry of Defence, and then the photographs simply vanished, along with the two chefs. For the first time, we can see the missing picture, a photograph one MOD insider described as the most spectacular UFO picture ever captured, and the holy grail in terms of hard evidence that these things really exist. It's a picture the MOD and the National Archives have tried their utmost to keep hidden, and while the information would normally have been released after 30 years, the Ministry have not released the original photo, and wants the names and witnesses sealed for a further 54 years until 2076 because of privacy concerns. So what is it? Is it a mysterious aircraft that arrived from another galaxy? Was it man-made somewhere in a secret hangar? Whatever it is, it remains on the secret list and highly sensitive. The witnesses have simply been in that 1,000,000 to 1 chance of being in that particular place at that particular time and needed to be shut up. Since the mid-80s, there have been rumours of top-secret, exotic, Americans reconnaissance aircraft named the Aurora, a silent supersonic, geometrically shaped craft used for spy missions. Although there's never been any substantial evidence that it was ever built or flown, there have been numerous unexplained sightings and incidents in both the US and the UK over the years that have fueled the Aurora myth. But the papers obtained using the Freedom of Information Act suggest that the MOD intelligence officers did believe Aurora existed, but were not allowed to say anything publicly. But the MOD must explain to the public why, if there is no such thing as UFOs, how they can justify keeping the identities of the two young chefs secret for a further 54 years. And it also needs to explain what happened to the negatives and their file on the case. Otherwise, they're simply adding further to the mill of conspiracy theorists who believe the authorities are hiding the truth about visits to Earth by aliens. the pictures surely cannot be said to damage state interests. The original photos are held by the MOD in archives till 2076. But what happens in 2076? Would these photos become lost?